In this class, the topic is to discuss some of the cool things in Hindi because Jennifer usually blames me that I'm a very serious person, and most of the topics are really like intense, and I wanted to like prove her wrong. So I thought like, how can I make some cool lectures in Hindi, right? In the office also, I've been told that you should use inflection as you.
That's what they told you in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
office.
that you should start using inflection as you get like advanced like a teacher. I was like, okay, I'll figure it out what that is. But anyway, let's get started. Before we start the class, regular announcement. We have a cool feature on the Hindi University Facebook page, using which you can check in when you come to the Hindi class. It's a good way to let everyone know that you're attending a Hindi class, and if they're interested, they can attend as well. So I'll quickly write it down. Use the check-in feature. I hope you can see it. Yeah. So use the second feature, and you can also give some feedback when you because it will ask you to rate Hindi University. So if you have any comments or feedback, if you want any particular topic to be included in the upcoming sessions, you can do that too. You can also give a suggestion on what should we teach in the upcoming classes. Like I usually get some request on that we should teach kids also, but the volume is increasing. So if you get more and more volume that we should have a class for kids, I'll definitely include that in our roadmap. So use that feature, and this is the best way to give your feedback. Next one, again, next announcement would be like last time. I want to make one more quick announcement, which is Hindi writing class. Hindi writing class. So starting next week, April 19th, 10 a.m., we'll be starting a new class called Hindi writing. And uh, fresh, we'll be starting from the beginning. So you don't really need to know you don't really have to have any background on even the spoken Hindi as well. So even if you've not really, read Hindi before, you'll be able to follow all the lectures. We will take one of the suggestion which is provided by one of our student. We'll use some theme as well in this class, so that way you will be learning vocabulary of a particular section. So we can use a vocabulary of, let's say, animals, or we can even use the vocabulary of items that you have in a kitchen, or or your day-to-day household things. Right? So definitely spread the word. If you have friends who are interested in how to read and write Hindi, this is a good place to start. We will have about 8 classes, and I'm keeping it very consistent. In 8 classes, you'll be able to read and write Hindi. Um, Classes will be free, assignments will be free as well, but we'll have one more add-on feature in it. If you're interested in getting a certification, we'll have a nominal charge for that, and I'll update as we start the class. I'll let everyone know. But I'm excited about it, and I think you will be excited as well as you start going through the class. Anything else, Jennifer, before we start the class? No?
I
Okay.
think that's
So
everything.
okay, so good. So let's start the topic for today, which is Hindi is cool. Yeah. Do you know what does it mean?
I always understand yaar as like just an exclamation.
Okay.
Does it have a direct translation?
Yeah, it does. Anybody else can think of, please feel free to use the comment box to tell us what does it yaar mean.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it really?
No.
Oh, I didn't really use the chat box. Is it really?
Hmm.
That would be my guess. So
Hmm.
Ashu Ji,
Hmm.
यार का मतलब क्या है?
यार का मतलब friend.
Friend?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
So yaar is like, a cool way of saying like, friend, a friend. So, when you're saying Hindi is cool, yaar, that means like, hey friend, Hindi is
Oh,
like,
interesting.
listen, friend, this is a cool thing.
Huh.
So pretty much, you'll see kids playing with each other, or talking to
Mm.
each other. You can put yaar at the end of anything.
Right.
So
Mm.
for example, even when you're saying what's going on,
Mm.
you can put yaar at the end
Mm.
of it,
Mm.
right? I mean, and if I'm talking to, like, my friend is asking me, what are you doing?
Mm.
I can say काम कर रहा हूँ.
Mm.
That's one way to say it.
Yeah.
I can also say काम कर रहा हूँ यार.
Interesting. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I mean, that's just
Very
like
good.
to develop more intimacy, or to, like, with
Mm.
your friends and all, right? I mean, that
Yeah.
you're very close to them, right? It's one
Gotcha.
way to show them. So you can put yeah at the end of pretty much anything you can think of,
Cool.
right? or or imagine, like, your students are asking you, or someone is asking you, what are you doing? You can say पढ़ा रही हूँ
Uh-huh.
यार, or
Okay. Mm.
class में हूँ यार,
Gotcha.
right?
I like it. Yeah.
Or I'm stuck in traffic.
Uh.
Traffic में stuck हुई यार,
Got
right?
it.
The next time you're stuck in
I'm gonna
traffic,
text that to you.
yeah. So that's the topic, and I picked up some of the things that I think we should be discussing. I wanted to keep it a light session, so feel free to chime in whenever you have any suggestion, or if you've heard of some cool things, you can write down in the comments, or if you're using the live session, you can use chat box as well. So the first thing is how to say what's up in Hindi.
Mhm.
Right? So you know that.
I know how to say how are you, but I don't know how to say what's up. So Ashu Ji,
Mhm.
हिंदी में
Mhm.
what's up को क्या कहते हैं?
Or how do you say in this case? कैसे I
कैसे
mean
कैसे कैसे बोलता है?
बोलते हैं. How do you say how are you?
I would say आप कैसे हैं?
आप कैसे हैं? Okay. Okay. So next thing is, like, before I give you the answer, what about what's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah.
I would say क्या हाल है?
क्या हाल है?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's now get to the answer of it for both of them. Right. What's up and what's going on? So I'll just give you one generic thing which pretty much you can use for both of them. One is, as you said, क्या हाल है. You know what हाल means?
Uh, I'm not sure actually. What
Hmm.
is, yeah.
हाल is condition.
Oh really?
हाँ.
Oh, so what's the condition?
What's the condition? What's your condition? So क्या is what?
Yeah.
है is your
Right.
verb basically to be formed. हाल is condition. So
Yeah.
in which condition, or in
I
which
like it.
state you
Yeah.
are in, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's going on. What's your condition, right? The next one is going on. Which tense is it?
Present continuous.
So something which is like रहा है,
Mhm.
रही है,
Yeah.
right? So what if I say the same thing is क्या चल रहा है? Interesting, right? It's
Yeah.
such a unique combination, even
Yeah,
though you're
yeah.
using the verb,
Right.
what's going on, like,
Right.
in your life, what's going on, right?
Right.
So, क्या चल रहा है,
Mm.
right? Um, Even if you're talking to a girl also, you just say क्या चल रहा है. You not say क्या चल रही है,
Gotcha.
right? Because it's not the literally
Right.
the walking,
Right.
right? It's like the in your life what's going
Mhm.
on, right? Okay. You can also say, if you want to make it even more cool,
Mm.
you can also say लाइफ में क्या चल रहा है. Which is like, you'll see people are using Hindi and English, quite commonly together, right? So life में क्या चल रहा. What does it mean?
In your life, what's going
What's
on?
going on, right?
Yeah.
Life
What's
में,
going on in your
yeah.
life?
So again, may is a post position
Mhm.
here. So life में is in life. क्या चल रहा है, right? And young people quite often, like, you see them, like, in using in the class, or to appear cool again,
Uh-huh.
right? Now let's see how good you respond to this question in a cool way, right? I mean, not in a
Right,
serious
you would want to
serious
say
manner.
like I'm concerned about the political
Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
no.
yeah. So how would you respond to it?
So what's going? I mean, in English, when people say what's going on or what's up, you're like, Nah, nothing.
Nothing. Okay, so that's one way to say nothing. What else?
What do you say when people ask you what's going on?
So one is nothing. Honestly, when I came to the US like about 10 and a half or 11 years ago, I would just get scared. Why are you asking me this question? I would not even respond to it. Like, especially WhatsApp, I didn't really
Right.
know the, like,
What do you say
because
to that?
people just usually say WhatsApp, right? They don't
Right.
really look into it.
Right. Right.
For me, I have to respond to it, right?
Yeah.
And what do I say, right? Every time I cannot say, like,
Right.
I'm cool or I'm upset or, so I just ended up saying, I just ended up observing people what they are responding, and
Right.
they were pretty much saying not much,
Yeah,
and I
not
started
much.
saying not much, right? So nothing is. So in Hindi, if nothing is going on, you'll say kuch nahi.
कुछ नहीं है.
You can simply say kuch nahi, or you can also say jada. Sorry, yeah, I'm just mixing it up. Jada kuch nahi. Let's write it systematically. So, uh, okay. So first is one way to say it is kuch nahi, which is nothing.
Mhm.
Second way is jada kuch nahi, like
Mhm.
not much,
Mhm.
right? Let's see what else you can say. Let's say if you are, um, hmm, you can also say tragedy chal rahi hai, which is like again another way. It's not like a real tragedy, but if you are a
Gotcha.
melodramatic,
Yes.
and
Right.
if you want your things to sound even more cool,
Right.
you can say that, like
Gotcha.
it's like and again, this is not like a literal tragedy, but I'm just making it like how people use it, right? I mean, tragedy chal rahi, and it could be tragedy as if like some professor gave a lot of assignment,
Mhm.
you're not able to solve any assignment,
Right.
or you want to have fun, but somebody is stopping you from doing that, like tragedy chal rahi hai. So people use it. I as a teenager, I have used it as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, yeah, of
Then it
course.
must be cool.
Yeah. What else?
I feel like here when people ask you what's up, everybody says, "Oh, I'm busy."
I'm busy.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you say in a cool way I'm busy?
In Hindi.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's see. Um, you'll say, okay, again, look at it. Don't use any of these in an academic sense. Just like a disclaimer, really don't. Right? This is all just to on a casual conversation, right? People usually say, especially young people, they say "What lag rahi hai." Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. So what lag rahi hai meaning like somebody's like what did you say? You mentioned
Busy.
I'm busy,
Yeah.
or it's indirect way of saying I'm busy because
Mhm.
somebody has given me a lot of work,
Gotcha.
and
Yeah.
because of that, like
Yeah.
what lag rahi hai, and I just say what, or you can also say VATT. What lag rahi hai, right? So it's another way, way of saying that I'm really busy. I'm like
Mhm.
swamped. What else? You tell me the way you say it in English, and I'll tell you the,
Okay, I'm trying to think. I'm busy, not much.
Hmm.
Sometimes I think people are like, "Yeah, everything's fine."
Okay. Okay. So you can say, you know how to say that in Bengali? Have I told you that or no?
Bengali? No, I don't know.
Okay.
I would get. I mean, I would feel like you would just say like, "Acha hai."
No, no, no.
I
So
don't know.
now you can try that as well. So
Yeah.
just a slight tangent, you can say thika hai. Have you heard
Oh,
of
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. Of
So if
course.
you go to
That's the
Calcutta,
main Bengali
yeah.
thing
So
that
it's
people
like
say.
everything is like thika hai, right? So
Yeah.
it's like another. It's not like a literal way, but
Right.
like in a
Right.
cool way, you'll say
Yeah.
thika hai.
Yeah.
Um, how do you say that in Hindi? So you'll say सब ठीक है,
Something. Yeah.
right? So सब ठीक है. Sub ठीक है. I hope you can see it. If not, I'll quickly bring it down. So you say sub ठीक है. Sub is
Everything.
everything. ठीक is
Good.
mm. Okay. So this is Have you heard of this movie called PK? Recently it came.
Yeah, you told me
Yeah,
about
I
it.
told you that.
I was
Okay.
really confused. I wasn't sure if it was the letter P and the letter K.
Okay.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
but it's not, is it?
So PK was using a lot of cool Hindi. It's not like
Okay.
again like a a real Hindi, but it's like a Bhojpuri kind of Hindi, right?
Okay.
So if
Yeah.
somebody asks him how's everything, so again he'll say Tanatan. Tanatan is like everything is perfect basically,
Ah, I
right?
like that.
So like sub.
We have a PK fan in the
Oh,
audience.
really? So it's a sub Tanatan. Eh.
Ah.
Tanatan hai, right? Well, Tanatan you can use it like again. You can again just to appear cool. You can
So
use
that's
it.
everything's perfect.
Everything is perfect. Or even if somebody is offering you some food or anything like that, how is it? Tanatan hai,
Ah,
right?
okay, cool.
You can say must hai. Must is also like very good or delicious, right? I
Okay.
mean, cool way of saying delicious or
So
perfect.
you would use must more with like food, or would you say like everything's great? You'd say
Well, people can use it. It's like it's not a specific word used in specific context. You can even if I go to a let's say a restaurant, like somebody asking me how is it? Oh, I must like them,
oh cool,
right?
okay,
Or
yeah.
if you go to a restaurant, you can use it as well, must have,
Mm.
right? Amina can give her stories as well because she's been to India and
Yeah.
she must have heard people literally using all of
Mm-hmm.
these cool things. I think we covered a lot of things, right? I mean, how
Yeah.
to say, anything, especially when somebody is asking you what's up or what's going on.
Right.
Not only to ask it in Hindi, but also to respond to it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to just respond in one way that,
Right.
ठीक है, या,
Right.
ज़्यादा
Right.
कुछ नहीं, right?
Yeah, we have variety.
So, similarly in English, like, I learned it through my nephew because when you ask him how are you, he doesn't say that I'm okay or I'm good. He'll every time he'll use a different adjective like I'm amazing or I'm fabulous. And this is what
I love that.
he's been taught in the class that
Yeah.
you use it at different
Love that.
or come up with something more
Yeah.
interesting way of
Yeah.
like to
Yeah.
say it rather than repeating it, right? And I thought it was pretty cool.
I like that.
Anything? We can take a quick pause here to see if people have uh, any questions or comments. Otherwise, we'll continue the pace. I mean, with our next topic.
Our next cool topic.
Yeah, next cool topic. People is like if somebody asks you how's your Hindi class, you can say must have.
Yeah.
Okay, you can use it in that context also.
That's what I'm gonna say from now on.
Yeah. Okay. So next thing is see you later. Like do you know how to say that?
Yes, I
Mhm.
think so.
Mhm.
I would say फिर मिलेंगे.
फिर मिलेंगे. मिलेंगे. Okay, that's like a proper way of saying it,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, if you want to like break it apart and like
Right.
something, how will you? Yeah, any idea? Okay, so people will say, and again, there are many variations to it, and it varies based on where in India you are, right? I mean, if you're in the northern part of India, people will say differently. Southern, similarly, east and
Sure.
western will be completely different. Some people will say milte hain. Milte hain meaning like we'll meet again. It's like a short form of saying milte
Gotcha.
hain.
Yeah.
Uh, some people will say मिलिएगा. Milega meaning like let's stay in again. All of these it means the same thing,
Gotcha.
right? I mean that we should stay in touch or let's keep in contact. Um, some people will say मिलते रहिएगा.
And Amina has said, "Chalo,
Hmm.
फिर मिलते हैं."
Yeah, people will say chalo also. Right? She's absolutely right. Chalo is like okay, let's go. And chalo can also be used as like let's say I'm at home and we are planning for something, right? And like let's go.
Let's
Chalo
go.
chalte hain.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, um, that's one, two, three. Four, five. Anything else that you can think of when it comes to see you later? People say milna hoga.
Hmm.
Hoga, you can say just by the way it's written, it's future,
Future, yeah.
right? Future indefinite. So milna hoga.
Mhm.
That if if it's there in the destiny,
Right.
we'll see each other again,
Yeah.
right? Um, I'm thinking if there's a cool movie name which says like which means like
See you later.
see you later. It'll come to me. I'll bring it up. But as of now, let's stick with it. But a lot of the time, new Hindi movies, the way they're like they're
Mhm.
naming it, it's like a cool way of
Right. Yeah.
saying it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to the next topic. So we've done what's up and what's going on.
Mhm.
We've done see you later.
Mhm.
Okay, and we'll continue with the next topic. And a lot of the cool words are just like one word, so you don't really have to
Mhm.
know the grammar behind it.
Sure.
You
Right.
just use it like peak and tanatan. You can just use one word,
Uh-huh.
and it will convey
I
the,
mean.
the meaning basically, right? And I think it's also okay. There you can debate about it whether it's the right way of saying it or not.
Mhm.
But if you just look into the context, it's good because you just have to use one word and it will convey the
Convey
entire thing,
everything.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, so in that perspective, it's very popular, right? I mean,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
concise you are, the better it is,
Right. Right.
right? Right? Okay. Sometimes that the one which you discussed, that's cool.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, this the word literally you can like you can say it in any context.
Mhm.
You can just fit cool in any of your things. Like uh, people say एकदम cool है. You know what does it mean?
Yeah. Egg one. Right.
हाँ.
But I don't know. No.
एकदम is absolutely.
Oh.
एकदम absolutely or totally.
Mhm. Gotcha.
Totally. That's totally. Or I agree with you. Or
Mhm.
people use this also as a cliche quite a lot. Totally.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you've observed it.
Yes.
Desi people use.
My Americans too.
Really
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything is totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So एकदम cool है.
Mhm.
एकदम cool is like absolutely all right, right,
Mhm.
or absolutely cool, right? And you can use it for anything.
Mhm.
You can use it for your ice cream. You can use it for your samosa or
Uh-huh.
anything.
Uh-huh.
So एकदम cool है. It's uh, again you can think of scenarios where you'll say if you replace it, I want to give you some examples here. So let's say if you don't want to use एकदम,
Mhm.
but if you want to say cool है,
Mhm.
let's say you can think of it, or I'll help
I
you.
don't know. Bahut? I don't know. I only know. I would say bahut cool hai.
बहुत cool है. Okay.
But I don't know if that's cool to say that.
No, that's cool.
Okay.
बहुत cool है. Let's see if people have any ideas about it. Like what else can you use besides बहुत or एकदम? Uh,
This is English. The piece is
yeah. So this
American.
is we'll have one conversation with Amina. Where she can
Mhm.
enlighten us about like her
Yeah.
thesis, where she
Yeah.
is. But we don't want to do it before her. It's already approved and submitted because
Right. Right.
So बहुत cool है. It's she'll give us some academic perspective to it,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, बहुत cool है. Let's say I want to give some more example here. So, so if I'm going to a place, so let's say and take a small tangent here. So it's like there's a hair oil in India,
Mhm.
right? I'm not sure if you've heard of it,
Mhm.
but it has some chemical in it which
Okay.
makes your head like if you have a headache or something,
Yeah.
it will make it like cool.
Oh.
So
Okay.
the way they market is like a thanda thanda.
Uh-huh.
Thanda is cold. Thanda thanda cool. So it's
Okay.
like so that's how they market it. Like this oil is not like your regular hair oil,
Right.
right? I mean usually Indian hair oils they might smell really bad, right? I mean, so the way they market it, It's thanda thanda, cool, cool.
Huh.
And part of the marketing strategy is to mix these things and
Mm-hmm.
make it appear like a really cool thing,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
I like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You can use, let's say, if somebody is wearing some nice jacket, right? So jacket ekdam cool hai.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so jacket ekdam, again you can use ekdam here. Ekdam cool hai. And you can use any sort of a
Mm-hmm.
noun here, like
Sure.
I said. Okay, cool. So pace is okay, right?
Ekdam cool.
Ekdam cool.
Yeah.
So I hope we are not going at like a super fast pace. I want to
Mm.
make sure that people are following you. So again, just to if you go to any road stop, like in India on the highway, you have like a roadside dhaba and all, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, we used to always wonder because I don't drink any alcohol, but like when they sell it,
Yeah.
you know, they they usually make mistakes when they're writing beer in Hindi.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if you
Yeah.
noticed it, right?
Yeah.
The way they write in Devanagari,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes they write Bhayankar. Bhayankar, what does it mean? Okay, so it's like a Bhayankar. Bhayankar is like how do I say it? Like tremendous or something which is like superlative form of like for example it's let's say what are three forms of verb like cool, cooler, and the coldest.
Mm.
Let's say,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So think of it as like if you want to emphasize something a lot,
Okay.
chilledest. So chill,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so for example, it's like
It's like
chilled,
the coldest. I got it.
coldest
Yeah.
guy, right? So that's like a coldest,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes they use bhayankar thandi, bhayankar thandi beer. I'm not sure if you get the meaning of it.
So, is it the coldest beer?
Yeah, so Bhayankar is like, so, okay, so Thanda is Hindi, right?
Right.
And Thandi because it's like a feminine form,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, beer is considered feminine, so Thandi. But if this is a Thandi beer, then it's like, it's still casual. That how do I know that this is a cold one?
Oh.
To make it like, they're mixing Bhayankar with Thandi and
Okay.
making a one word out of it. That
Interesting.
it's like
Yeah.
Bhayankar. It's like you cannot beat that. I'm not sure if
Gotcha.
any
Yeah.
of the beer company here, they have
Right.
any advertisement which makes it like. All right. So the next topic, which is okay. The next topic is okay. Hmm, and that is like again like how to say like when you're conversing with somebody and if you just want to like sometimes you're like okay wow that's so good, right? I mean
Yeah.
what are you talking about, like, and sometimes you want to say you are so amazed
Yeah.
by it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you say that in English, right? I mean
In English.
don't tell me, right? I mean that's
Yeah,
one
you have
way.
these expressions that don't really mean anything. Like, really?
Yeah, so let's say
Wow.
yeah, so, okay. Really, okay, wow,
You're kidding.
you're kidding me, okay, don't tell me, don't tell me, right?
Don't tell me. Right.
When you want somebody to tell you, but like don't tell me. What?
I don't know.
Any other way?
No way, Marcelo
No
says.
way,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So these are some of the way and each language you talk about any language they have
Yes.
some ways of saying it, right?
Yes.
Um, one way to say that in Hindi is like क्या बात कर रहे हो, and I used to use it quite a lot, like as in the school in the engineering college because everything is like giving you a shocker. Anything is like oh wow this is the coolest news or this is like
Right.
a breaking news, right? I mean, right? Oh, this is
Yeah.
like something you've never heard of. So क्या बात कर रहे हो. Again, you can use ho if you're talking with like tum or aap.
Mm.
Um, Mostly because when we were in the college, we were of same age group, right?
Yeah.
So we'll just use to. So it's like क्या बात कर रहा है.
Mina has added are on the end.
अरे हाँ, क्या बात कर रहा है, क्या बात कर रहा है. Okay, as you rightly pointed out, array is one other way of saying it. Array. So like we said, like the different way of saying is like first is क्या बात कर रहे हो, and you will say with like some passion in it, right? I mean, like you don't just say क्या बात कर रहा है. That sounds a little dull, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you will get into the
You have to get
character.
into it,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And the next is like क्या बात कर रहा है, and then let's say third one is array. Hmm? And there are other ways. Such may. Uh, the one you said really is you can also say such may. Such may. Such. So may is in. Such is
Truth.
yeah. Yeah, ये सच है. So you know, such means like
Is it
truly,
true?
yeah, is
Yeah,
it true,
truly,
right?
yeah.
I mean, such में. If you just want to use one word, you can say sachi, and usually girls use it quite a lot. Sachi is like is it true, right? I mean, then um, what else can I think of?
And Amina asks, I've never understood the difference between such me and such chi muchi.
Sachi muchi. So sachi muchi. So sachi is like so again, there are many ways to say it. It's pretty much the same thing. You can say uh, such may or such much may. So such much is like just a rhyming word to it, right? I mean, so such much may. So it's not much but much. Such much may or sachi muchi may. It's just like a colloquial way of saying it. There's no like in my knowledge, there is no like a academic sense where you are like differentiating it. So you can say such much may or you can say sachi muchi may. Have you heard of it before?
I know. But I have heard of rhyming things before.
Yeah, rhyming, but
But I
probably
haven't
not.
heard
I was thinking about it, but I was like, okay, should I skip it? But
But I mean, I've heard of it.
she
Yeah.
brought it up, so I
Yeah.
was like, okay.
Yeah.
So depends, right? I mean, you can use. Sometimes people use it like as a response to such mein, such much mein.
Oh.
So as a response.
Really? Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yes,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So you
Okay.
can use it as a response, or you can even use it as a question as well. Like, are you sure? Right? I mean, I think this is helpful. I hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um. Okay. So far so good. Let's start with the
I think we should just say example.
example.
That's the sentence of the day.
So we're covering a lot of things today, but I hope this will be useful. And I think we should do more of such sessions to to
It's good for conversation. Right?
yeah, yeah. So another thing which we use in conversation, which is like you're nodding head all the time, right? I mean, and depending upon which part of India you are, you can either use you can nod either this way or you can use this way, or sometimes you can rotate also, right?
I think rotating is the way to go.
Rotate. Right, that's also cool, right? I mean,
It's very cool.
It's very
Yeah.
cool, right? I mean, there's a one video on YouTube and which is all about like they've analyzed it like based on how you're rotating your head, they can tell you which part of.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fascinating.
There's a training on in World Bank. One of our like very close friends, he works there. He told us that even though he's Indian,
Yeah.
they didn't know that, right? So they've been just told to attend trainings like cultural training. And he was told that he found it very fascinating because like somebody has done study on it, that based on how you're rotating or nodding your head, the because sometimes even for yes we nod this way and no also we nod like
Oh,
this way.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, same.
Same thing, right? So
Marcella says love it.
yeah.
So Ashu, what is the Rajasthani way to nod your head?
To nod your head. I'm not the right person.
Not to put you on the spot.
I guess Rajasthani will just do random things like they'll say one thing, ha, and then they'll do the opposite. So basically, it'll be disconnect between what you're saying versus which direction your
I see.
head is,
Right,
going, right?
right.
So I
That's
think.
funny because we once took my father-in-law, who's Bengali,
Hmm,
out for dinner in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and the waiter said, "Do you want another beer?"
hmm.
And my father-in-law said, "Yes, please." And the waitress was like, "So do you want the beer or you don't want the beer?" He's like, "Yes, you don't understand me." And it was this just great moment where she was completely
Laugh.
confused. And we were like, "Yes, yes, bring the beer." He wants the beer. And I never understood that moment. I always thought, why didn't he shake his head
Yeah.
no? But I
So
guess,
it's like,
yeah.
All right. So another thing that we say just to carry the conversation is acha is quite a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so acha is good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you see people are using acha quite a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking some of the relevant word in English, like which
Mm-hmm.
you just use, like let's say we're talking in English.
Yeah, it's like a filler, isn't it?
It's
Like
a it's a
if you're
filler.
talking and I say ha cha
Yeah, yeah,
cha,
it's a filler
it's
word.
like okay or
Yeah, I think okay would be the equivalent.
mm-hmm.
You know, okay would be an equivalent word of acha,
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It's like I'm listening.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. अच्छा बोलो बोलते जाओ.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Continue.
Yeah.
um, I was wondering if we can practice it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but like as I was like, can we can demonstrate it as an example?
Okay.
Hmm? Okay, so let's say I'll give you a scenario, and
Okay.
then you have to use it then.
All right.
Okay, so
Let's do it.
let's say I'm telling you a story, like you're asking me about what happened yesterday in the accident. So Jennifer, मैं कल गाड़ी चला रहा था.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. See, don't say
Gotcha.
हूँ. मैं कल गाड़ी चला रहा था. मेरे आगे एक और गाड़ी थी.
Gotcha.
मेरे पीछे पुलिस की गाड़ी थी.
Gotcha.
You understood it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. पुलिस पुलिस मुझे चेस कर रहा था.
Gotcha.
हाँ. And then मैं डर गया.
Gotcha.
हाँ. अच्छा. Right. So this is the way to use it,
I
right?
tried to also rotate my head
Yeah, you
slightly.
can also
Yeah.
rotate your head and keep saying
Yes.
acha
Yes.
acha. And sometimes you can even show your expressions, like because the acha one way would be to just keep on saying acha.
Yeah.
Another one way would be that you like keep coming closer to the person and
Right.
get into the character as
Right.
like as if
Right.
like
Mm-hmm.
the story is getting more and more like what do you call it, like
Gripping.
gripping.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So acha can be like said it in different way,
Yeah.
and similarly in every language, right? I mean sometimes you can get intense, right? I mean, and
Right.
the same word will mean
Right.
different
Sure.
things, right?
Yeah.
Let's keep going because I think I'm taking a lot of time to.
It's cool, yaar.
Yeah. um, Fair. Okay, so fair we have already done it, right? Like fair is like the same story that we were talking about. You can use fair also
Mm-hmm.
in between. So sometimes you can use acha in between, and sometimes you can use fair. Then fair means then. So when I told you that like the cop was chasing me,
Right.
police मुझे chase कर रहा था, and then you can be like, फिर
Uh-huh.
like in the sense फिर क्या हो, what
Mm-hmm.
happened after
Mm-hmm.
that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the filler word for it, फिर.
Mm-hmm.
We did this thing, right? Okay, no. Okay. How do you say no problem?
How do you say no problem? Problem nahi hai.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Okay, that's one way of saying it, no problem. What are some, let's say in English, it's all right.
Marcella says baat nahi.
Okay, it's all right. Let's say it in English first. So no problem. It's all right.
It's okay.
It's okay. That's it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, in Hindi, it'll be, let's say if people are saying.
We have kuch baat nahi, says Marcella,
Mm-hmm.
and we have kya baat nahi.
Okay, koi baat nahi. So the correct interrogative would be is like koi baat nahi. Koi is like I think we have one video where we're talking about koi and kuch.
Right.
I'll probably put once I upload this video, we'll put a link on it,
Mm-hmm.
which basically goes into koi. What is the meaning of koi?
Yeah.
Someone, right? Um, koi baat nahi, which is like no problem. It's no matter basically, right? Um, hmm. Can we, now that I wrote this sentence, can we make variations out of it? Like, for example, what is the follow-up question to it? For example, let's consider it's a scenario. Um, you ask me the question and I'll respond to it. Like in which you're saying you're asking me and I have to respond to it.
So,
Let's say I'm teaching Hindi and then you are late.
I would say, maaf karo.
Hmm.
Uh,
No, let's say even if you're saying it in English, like
oh, I would say, sorry, Ashu, I'm late.
let's say koi baat nahi,
Uh-huh.
right? So that's one simple way of saying it.
Mhm.
Koi baat nahi. But let's say you're investigating it, some case,
Okay.
and you want to counter question,
Mhm.
and you're saying that no, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
There has to be there's some matter in it.
Mhm.
Then you'll say koi to baat hai.
Mm, okay.
Got it, getting it right. So it's like koi. So koi baat nahi is one way, right?
Yeah.
And then you say koi to baat hai. There
So
is
there is a problem.
there is some matter behind it.
Okay.
Koi to is like, you again, to you use it to find out. It's a keyword again. Kuch to hai, kuch to hua hai. It's a very famous song in Hindi. Kuch hua hai, something happened.
Mm,
Kuch to hua hai, like you are again emphasizing
right.
it, like something must have happened.
Gotcha.
Like koi to baat hai, there has to be a matter behind it, right? So when somebody saying koi baat nahi, that's one usually in the cool way.
Mhm.
This is not a cool anymore, where you are like getting serious
Right.
about it, right?
Gotcha.
Like koi to baat hai.
Meena says kuch kuch hua hai.
कुछ कुछ हुआ okay, so there is again another movie called कुछ कुछ होता है. कुछ कुछ होता है. What does it mean?
There is something.
No, something happens basically,
Something happens.
right? Shah Rukh Khan is there in that movie.
Oh, I love Shah Rukh
You,
Khan.
because
Yeah, of course, he's great.
yeah,
Yeah. So handsome.
yeah. So
Yeah.
just like again, like I'm getting a little bit more carried away, but when I was in the high school, one of the teacher, like a physics teacher, he was just yelling at the students because we were just at that age and we were just like not really paying attention.
Mhm.
And he was like, you guys don't even pay attention to it. Like, there's nothing that bothers you. It's like, does something happen to you guys? And then one of the guy, he stood up and he's like, yes sir, kuch hota hai. I mean, it was very funny in a sense because like you won't expect a teacher and a student
Right.
conversing in this
Right.
way, right?
Yeah.
What time is it? Let's do a quick time check.
10:46.
Okay, so we just have like 5 more minutes and we'll
Yeah.
open it up for discussion.
Yeah.
Let's, I don't know. Okay, good. Hmm. Okay. What is the, some of the way to say it in English? Like, where you are not like very using a cuss word.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you wrote "darn it."
Okay,
That's
so
very, which is very polite.
all right, okay. I wanted to discuss with you before I So when do you use it?
I would probably say something more.
You would say
Okay, you stub your toe.
okay.
You drop some water
Okay.
on the floor. I
Hmm.
don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you'll use it, right? You'll use it with intensity.
with intensity.
It's okay.
Yes.
How do you say that in Hindi, right?
Uh-huh.
One way to say that in Hindi is like kya yaar, and then depending upon your intensity, you can use something after that,
Okay.
right? But if you just want to be really polite,
Yeah.
it's like so you missed the meeting or you missed the phone call,
Right.
and or you did something, if there's a faux pas, basically, you
Uh-huh.
can use it kya yaar, right? So that's the way to say it in Hindi. Kya yaar. If you want, we can demonstrate it. Or
We won't stub our toes though.
yeah. um. Okay. Hmm. We'll do one more and then we'll open it up for discussion, right?
Acha.
Acha. um, um, Okay. So the one way would be that, remember that in every friend circle, there's one person, they know everything about everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when you're telling them something, they'll say, "I told you,
Right.
I told you this is exactly this was meant to happen. Like you were meant to have a breakup with this guy because I told you so." Right? Right? How do you say that in Hindi? Right? How do you like? I told you. And it happened. I mean, in my mind, like mostly teenagers, and
Yeah.
we are usually in that age when
Yeah.
when we know everything, right?
Yeah.
I told you so.
Teenagers and mothers. And
Mother, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, मुझे पता था. That's how you say it in Hindi. मुझे पता था. That's past.
Uh-huh.
पता होना is to know. मुझे is to me, मुझको. So I knew it. That's what it means. I knew it. You can use it in a plain context as well, where you know something, you can say I knew it.
Okay.
मुझे पता था.
Okay.
But here, because we are talking about some cool things,
Yeah.
it's like a little sarcasm there.
Yeah.
So here,
Yeah.
like we're referring to those sentences where like people are usually saying that or when you want to be cool, right? I knew it. I knew that you'll miss your train.
Right. I knew that Duke was going to win the game.
Yeah, right. So मुझे पता था.
Right.
So in that context, you can say that मुझे पता था. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. The last section I wanted to do in this class was to, have some rhyming word and how
Which
to.
Rina had just said. She said kuch had repeated words like
Okay,
kuch
yeah.
kabhi kabhi,
Yeah.
kabhi na kabhi, kisi
Okay.
na kisi.
Okay, so we can do that as well, right? I mean, and we can do it in the movie section that we are doing right now, along with. So it's a good timing. So one way, a cool way of saying it is like you hear a lot of time when I'm not sure again if it's the same thing in English also in other languages also, but I would be curious to see if this feature the rhyming keywords are there in other languages as well, right? So for example, recently there was a movie called English Vinglish. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Okay.
From you.
For me,
Yeah.
it was about women empowerment. I mean, I liked
Oh,
it. Yeah,
interesting.
partially about it.
Oh.
So English Vinglish, like so Vinglish is not really a word, but it's like anything which is like first word you'll just convert that into like ver sound. The sound will be ver, right? So roti is a bread, right? I mean your roti woti, right? So if you're khana is again to food, right? Khana wana. Like so if you go to a restaurant and you're ordering some food, you can say khana wana lekar aao. Bring me some khana wana, right? Any other like you also said some
Well, I know my brother and sister-in-law will say kya hal chal hai.
hal chal hai, right? So hal is condition, but hal chal is sort of a different like chal is like it's rhyming, but it's not the verb one. It's not the same thing.
Right.
But here, hal is your condition, chal is your like the way you're walking, right? So sometimes even that can tell you your condition and the way you're walking.
Yeah.
So it's not the right, it's rhyming, but right now, can you think of some
With a V.
V? Anything actually, anything you can think of.
Well, let's see.
Class, right? I mean, where are you going? Yeah, class, yeah.
So, Ashu, if you had to translate this, right? How would you translate?
In Hindi or
English.
in English?
Yeah. Like, why make the words rhyme?
It's basically okay. So, for example, the movie English to English. If I give you example of it, like some language, like some English, etc.
Okay.
English, etc.
So, Kanavana is like just bring any.
Bring any food,
Okay.
right?
Gotcha.
I mean to like make it a little bit more rhyming and casual. Like khana wana, bring something, man.
Okay. Gotcha.
So English, etc. or roti, etc. Like something along with it, like, let's see. Homework. So it's like V sound and then homework. Class pass, pen when. People use it. People use it in country name as well. And again, like I know in Punjabi it is used in another northern Indian language. They may not use verb,
Uh,
right? They'll say roti shoti.
uh,
Again, it's a rhyming word. They'll use America Shamerica.
oh,
Like
interesting.
America country,
Yeah, yeah,
Shamerica is like the
yeah.
rhyming word for it,
Interesting.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
so but in Hindi you can use it America of America,
Mhm.
so varies, right? I know Punjabi it is used. I would be curious to see if any other
Yeah.
like foreign if there are any other languages which are also like
Mhm.
rhyming word. I'm sure there will be rhyming word,
Yeah.
but like if there's a
Yeah.
like consistency or symmetry,
Mhm.
symmetric way of saying it in other
Right.
other languages, right? Um, Let me think if there are any other movie names. I know for sure that there are a lot of songs,
Mm.
you know, which are using the rhyming, like you can figure it out, right? I mean, now that when you hear about it, like that there
Yeah.
are some rhyming keywords,
Yeah.
you'll pay more
You hear that? Yeah.
close attention to it, right? Um,
Oh, Marcella says for an example in English, please, schmeeze.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true. Yeah, you do hear that.
yeah.
Right.
Next thing, which is like Reena, which you brought it up, like kuch kuch again, like how do you say it again and again, right? Kuch kuch
Mhm.
hota hai. We are using the kuch twice.
Mhm.
The other one is kabhi kabhi,
Right.
sometimes. Um, kabhi na kabhi. So, so kabhi kabhi sometimes.
Mhm.
Kabhi na kabhi is at sometime. Right? It will happen. Kabhi na kabhi.
Oh, okay.
For example, kabhi kabhi you can say kabhi kabhi barish hoti hai. It rains. It rains in DC sometimes.
Mhm.
DC में कभी ना कभी बारिश होगी.
Mhm.
Like
Okay.
that means that it's completely opposite. Like at one day
Sure.
there will be rain because it's not raining at all.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right? Um, she used something with kissy as well, right? I mean, there was one word.
Kissy na kissy.
Okay, kissy na kissy. So let's use it in a sentence. Um, who are you talking with? Let's say,
Uh-huh.
right? मैं, if you don't want to give it a name, you will say मैं बात कर रही हूँ.
Mhm.
आप who are you talking with? आप किससे बात कर रही है?
Mhm.
Someone,
Mhm.
किसी ना किसी.
Okay.
I don't want to.
I won't
It's
tell you.
none of your business kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? Anything else that she mentioned? Okay. Uh, I think that's it, right? I hope
Yeah.
this was like a helpful session. I'll try to bring some of the more every now and then we'll have some icebreaker session like this
Mm, I
where
think
we'll
it's a good
have some
idea.
more. We would like to hear from you some of the cool stories or some of the cool
Mm.
way people have used. If you've been to India, heard people say something
Mhm.
interesting, so we'd like to hear that as well. We'll try to open it up for discussion. People who are watching just on YouTube, please come again next week. As I said, we'll be starting with the writing and reading class starting next week. The more you spread the word, the better it is. And as I said, you can now check in the university using your Facebook page. So please do so as well. And I'll see you next week. And people who are already in the panel,